Zohran Mamdani was elected mayor of New York City. And here's yet another example of the failure of public education, because we don't teach them about the history of socialism. Chavez, Tito, Maduro, Kim Jong-un, Pol Pot, Stalin, Mussolini, yes, he was a socialist. Hitler, also socialist. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And the left is responsible for 100, 120, 150 million people dead. And the modern left will say, well, yeah, but they never practiced socialism. They didn't get it right? Okay, well, here you have another chance. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. Mamdani is going to implement rent control. And that's what he said. That's not my personal opinion. That's what one of his platforms for being elected was, the implementation of rent control, along with government-run grocery stores, the seizing of property, private property, etc. Rent controls is going to create a vast swath of empty buildings in New York City, because the landlords are not going to renovate or refurbish apartments that do not return their investment. So they'll sit on them, waiting for Mamdani to be replaced and new legislation to be passed. Well, empty buildings to homeless people. Homeless people don't care. They're going to go into these buildings, and you're going to have gang rapes in these buildings. You're going to have violence in these buildings. You're going to have people thrown from windows. There's going to be absolute violence and corruption. And not only that, New York City is going to push out all of its tax base. Millionaires and billionaires are not going to want to stay in a crime-ridden city. And it's going to attract religious zealots. So you're going to have pockets of Sharia law. You're going to have homeless people that are absolutely taken advantage of. If you're a woman and you're on the streets, oh man, you're in trouble. Government-run house grocery stores are going to be implemented. Well, nobody's going to supply product to a government store that doesn't return their investment. So the difference in the money is going to be subsidized through more taxes. And again, I already told you that the millionaires and billionaires they're already leaving. It's not a question of when, it's a question of how soon they'll be gone. So his tax base will be smaller and smaller, and in order to compensate for that, they'll have to tax the middle class and the poor people, and you will have a dystopian hellhole of poverty and crime, and you will not be able to get out of that. Yeah, my prayers are for New York City.